Today we're going to talk about the mindset of money. And you would think, and this would be a big mistake, that you would think that thinking about money, calculating money, looking at the money, and having an ideal, like maybe you want to go ahead and write down, I want to be worth $10 million by the time I'm 35 years old, and slide that in your wallet. And typically these things do not work, because when you focus on money, you're actually missing the big picture. One of the things that I did years and years ago, I wanted to have a lot of money, and I used to focus on money. I used to plan on money. I used to make these charts about money. It was all about money. And none of these things ever worked. None of these things ever came to be. And I'm about to tell you why. When you focus on money, you miss the bigger picture. You have to focus on the things that make money. Give you an example. When I was in the military, I started not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 businesses. And my focus was on making money, because as a specialist in the United States Army, I was making, I believe, $1,200 a month. And you want to start a business, you want to set up a holding company, an operating company, you want to get yourself some business credit, you want to learn how to run a business, you want to start your first online business. If you want to do that, and congratulations to you for being a person that wants more out of life, for being that person that's ready to sit down, do the work so your future can be brighter. I got some for you. Go below and enter into the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where we teach you all of that plus a lot more. Because you are not a normal, regular person. You want more out of life. You want to do more. You want to be more. You want to have more. And congratulations to you. So this link is below. Go ahead and check out this video. And then go ahead and enroll in the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where I teach you some things that you cannot Google. Can't Google it. Can't Google it at all. You know, it wasn't horrible, because then they have a lot of bills, but I felt that I could do better. So I got on this track of starting businesses to make money, and all of them failed because I was looking at making money. I didn't know anything about how to build a business. I didn't know anything about how to hire people. I didn't know anything about team building. I didn't know anything about the real concepts of building businesses. So during that time frame, everything that I started completely failed because it was rooted in how to make money. Now, years and years go by, and then I go into this situation where I'm homeless and I'm living in a boarding house, and I have to re-educate myself. I have to re-educate myself in the process of life, and re-educate myself on the process of making money, and re-educate myself on the process of how to live. And this is where I came across Earl Nightingale. And Earl Nightingale taught me so much, taught me a lot of tools, because once I took my focus off of making money, and I'll explain to you the process that I went through that taught me how to make a lot of money. First thing is having, I'm going to do more videos about this, so there's going to be a lot of information in here. So be sure to subscribe, be sure to hit the bell notifications for all. But when I went through Earl Nightingale School, and then I went to Rent-A-Crate, and let's just kind of put Rent-A-Crate in the box. Rent-A-Crate, I learned so much. I learned, number one, what is a customer? When I was starting my businesses, I had no idea what an ideal customer was. I didn't know. But when I went to Rent-A-Crate, I learned we had something that was called targets. These were customers that we very much wanted to do business with, and we aimed our marketing and sales presentation toward those customers. This is something I learned. It literally blew my mind, because I didn't know. I had no clue. And then I also learned how to contact customers, and I also learned how to phone call customers. Then I went to business panel systems where I started to get a little sales experience. Then I went to business environment where I put it all together. Number one, what is a customer? A customer is a person who can use whatever you're selling. What is not a customer? A person who has absolutely no use for what you're selling. Let's go ahead, stick a pin in that. This is where so many people go wrong. They try to sell things to people that have no use, concept, clear ideal, nothing. They have no, these folks have nothing to do with what you're trying to sell. They don't want it. They don't need it. There isn't there's nothing. There's nothing that you have that they want that can serve them and make their lives better. And this is one of the things that I got into, because once I learned, because once again, let me go ahead and tell you, I used to sell commercial office furniture, Herman Miller, Aeron chairs. I used to sell all types of stuff. And believe it or not, the customer base for office furniture is not that big. It's not that big. Was dealing with a very small audience that I made hundreds of thousands of dollars selling this stuff to people. Because once again, I learned the process of focusing on the things that make money versus thinking and dreaming about money. Best case example of this. I was at business environments, was working there for many years. Well, not many years, I was working there for many months. And I had this customer who actually needed my services. It's like, hey, could you sell our used office furniture? And I said, surely. And we set it up, and I had a signed agreement. I created an LLC, and I started selling their used office furniture. And this is how I made $250,000 in 8 months. My first ever successful business. Why was this business successful? Number one, I already knew how to get customers. Number two, I knew who the customers were. Number three, I had a list of people to call. Number four, I knew exactly how to approach these people. Let me go ahead and tell you exactly what I did. I had a bunch of customers who were saying that our prices were too high. They were very price sensitive customers, because essentially I had like rims of folders and stuff. I kept everything. I was a pack rat. And I just started going through these things, and I was like, hey, this is Glendon Cameron again. I understand that you were not in a position where you felt that new office furniture wasn't going to be a good fit for you. But I got a question. What about used office furniture that looks really, really good? And then this is what I started hearing. I'd be very interested. That's something I want to look at. Because for these people, it wasn't, it was a price issue. It wasn't about, was the furniture good or not? That had nothing to do with it. They just didn't want to spend that money. So when I got this, because I remember the first 4 months, I made like $150,000 because I had customers that I'd already communicated with, that already talked, that we somewhat had a relationship, that I was able to unload this furniture on and make a 50% of the margin. So this is really, really heady stuff that when I moved from thinking about money, wishing about money, and I moved to doing the things that could get you money, everything changed. Everything literally changed overnight. Because once I learned the techniques, like with YouTube, I'll tell you what I'm doing here. This YouTube channel is now 2 months old. And because I've had multiple YouTube channels, I know how that works. And also my first YouTube channel. My first YouTube channel, I started posting, putting up videos, and I did not sell anything until my 3rd month. Now with this channel, I'm building it out a little bit differently because we're building a relationship. We're building some reciprocity. And also with this thought process of what could these people look at? And also getting really, really deep because there's other things that are coming up in the future. But essentially, establish a relationship and find something that these people need to help people become successful, to help people do the things that they need and provide a product or service that people actually need and will use. This is very, very important, to create a product or service that people will use. And once again, once we kind of get away from the money situation, and once we start looking at what do these people need? That's another thing, because I remember years and years ago, I was having a phone conversation with this lady, and based on everything she told me, I said, ma'am, it doesn't sound like that you need what we sell. So I'm really sorry for wasting your time. And she's like, that's different. It's like, look, if you don't have a need for what I'm selling, there's really no point in me talking to you. And this is why you got to have the mindset wrapped around the things that produce money, not actual money. This is one of the biggest things I see on the internet. Everything's about the money, the money, the money, the money. When you see these ads, they're putting out all of this money, right? That, you know, my such and such made this amount and such and such made this. And I know from statistical perspective that the average person is not going to take a 3-month course and then 3 months later start making $40,000 a month. It's not going to happen. It's just simply not, because there's too much focus on the money versus the focus on building the company, building the product, and creating something that people actually need. All right, so this is one of the things that we're going to do here, because I want you to become a corporate citizen. And one of the things that I'm getting ready to do, and like the money course, which used to be free. If you didn't get it, it was free. You can't get it now, because now the course has a price, because I'm getting ready to add something called maximum velocity banking. If you go ahead and go through this course and do all the things that you need to do, you can put yourself in the position for massive velocity banking, which could literally change your life. We're going to be talking about doing some big boy money moves that's going to be very different than anything you've ever heard before. So the money management course right there should be a little ticker running across. Go ahead and get in that money management course, and I will see you guys in the next video.